Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Posha Online School. My dear student, guardians, and viewers, hope all of you are well by the mercy of Almighty Allah. I am also well. My dear student, today, before going to class, I would like to share an event with you. My dear students, all of you know this is the month of sadness. In this month, on 15 August, the father of the nation, the builder of the independent Bangladesh, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, was killed with his whole family. So, first of all, I would like to tribute them with due respect and pray to Almighty Allah for their departed soul. My dear student, today I would like to discuss a grammatical point for the student of class 9-10 and above, transformation of sentence, changing degree. In the previous class, I have discussed about degree, the word of positive form, comparative form, and superlative form. And I have discussed only one transformation from superlative to comparative. And today I would like to discuss from comparative to superlative and comparative to positive. My dear student, let's start our class. Before start our class, you are advised to take your pen and exercise book, and you are advised to note it. If you need something should be written. Now, my dear student, we should not waste our time, and let's start our main class. My dear student, first of all, I would like to discuss about changing from comparative to superlative. First of all, this is our main point, from comparative to superlative. My dear student, in the previous class I have discussed from superlative to comparative, and in that class I have discussed only 3 activities we have to do from changing superlative to comparative, and now today from comparative to superlative we have to remember in mind only 3 activities we have to do in this case also. My dear student, in the previous class I have discussed the superlative sentence are 2 kinds, is not it? Number 1 is with only the and with one of the. And now today comparative sentence are also 3 kinds. First of all, look at the board. Than any other, one kind. 2 kind holo than most other, and number 3 only than. There are 3 kind of comparative sentences: than any other, than most other, and only then. My dear student, you should remember in mind, only then it is a comparative sentence and it is indicated to change into positive only. It has no superlative form. So, we have to remember in mind only 2 things: than any other and than most other. My dear student, first of all, I would like to give an example, and then it will be very easier to you how to change comparative from comparative to superlative. Look at the sentence. Karim is taller than any other. Karim is taller than any other boys in the class or in the village, maybe. Karim is taller than any other boys in the class. This is comparative form. How we will identify this is comparative form? Look at the adjective taller, and its positive form is only tall, and superlative form will be tallest. And another symbol than any other. Than any other. It is a symbol of identify comparative sentence. And this word is comparative. Tall, taller, tallest. Is not it? So, my dear student, to change from comparative to superlative, we have to do only 3 activities. What are they? First of all, after verb, the will be after verb. Is verb. So after is, the will be used. Number 1 activity. Number 2 activity, taller. This is comparative form. So it should be changed into superlative form. From comparative form to superlative form. And number 3 activities is very easy. Then any other will be omitted. Then any other will be omitted. Then any other will be omitted. And nothing should be used here. These are 3 activities. If we do, then the comparative sentence will be changed into superlative form. I would like to repeat again. There are only 3 kinds of activities. First of all, after verb, the will be used. Then second, the comparative form taller will be changed into superlative form tallest, and then any other will be omitted. I would like to give another example and change it from comparative to superlative. My dear student, look at the board. Japan is richer. Japan is richer than any other country in the world. Japan is richer than any other country in the world. My dear students, this is comparative form, and if it is indicated in bracket, change into superlative, we have to do only 3 kinds of activities. I have discussed before. First of all, the will be used after is. So, answer will be in this way. Japan is, after is, the will be used. The. Number 1 activity is done. Then number 2 activity, richer is comparative form, so it should be changed into superlative form. In lieu of est will be used. Richest. Japan is the richest. Number 1 activity, number 2 activity. Then number 3 activity, then any other will be omitted. And then this is 3 activity, then any other will be omitted. So I or we have to write the last part of the sentence. Country in the world. Country in the world. It will not be changed. And this is superlative form. Japan is the richest country in the world. Comparative is Japan is richer than any other country in the world, and superlative form is Japan is the richest country in the world. We have to do only 3 kinds of activities. Number 1, after verb the will be used, and then number 2, the comparative form richer will be changed into superlative form richest, and then any other will be omitted. This is okay, and this is superlative sentence. My dear student, please look at the board. Another thing I have mentioned in the previous time, the comparative form or comparative sentence may be 2 kinds. Then any other and then most other. If there is then most other, then what will be? the superlative form you should not be worried. Only you have to write one of the in lieu of the here. We have written only the after verb. But if the comparative form is then most other, then here we have to write one of the. And for this case, when there is the most other, country will be superlative plural form. And superlative form will be Japan is one of the richest countries in the world. Japan is one of the richest countries in the world. My dear student, what we have learned to change comparative to superlative, there are two kinds of sentence, then any other, with then any other, and then most other. If the comparative sentence is with then any other, we have to do only three kinds of activities. First of all, the will be used after verb, then the comparative word will be changed into superlative, and then any other will be omitted, and we have to write the last part of the sentence. And if the comparative sentence is with then most other. For this case, we have to write only one of the in lieu of the. Here also three activities. First of all, after verb, one of the will be used, and then comparative form will be changed into superlative form, and then most other will be omitted. And we have to write the last part of the sentence. It's okay, my dear student. So, this is the rules, or this is the process how to change comparative sentence into superlative. Then, my dear student, I would like to discuss another sentence from comparative to positive. We have learned comparative sentences are two kinds, then any other and then most other. And only then sentence will be discussed next class. So today I would like to discuss only then any other and then most other. Some time ago I have changed, or we have changed from comparative to superlative. Now from comparative to positive. My dear student, you should remember in mind there are 7 activities. If the sentence is comparative or superlative, and if it is indicated to change into positive, we should remember in mind there are 7 activities to change comparative to positive or superlative to positive. What are the 7 activities? My dear student, you should note down these 7 activities. First of all, no other or very few. No other or very few will be used. Number 2, after other, the words will be used. After other, or the word or the part of the sentence after other will be used in number 2 activities. And number 3, verb. Number 4, so or as. Both are correct. You may use so or as. Number 5, positive form of comparative, or comparative form will be changed into positive form of comparative. And number 6, as. My dear student, please remember in mind number 4, so or as, both are correct, but number 6, as will be definitely used. In this case, you should not, or you have not use so in lieu of as. But number 4 activities you can write both. And number 7 last of all, subject. My dear student, it is not so difficult to you. First of all, we should learn or we should remember in mind, if the sentence is comparative or superlative and change into positive, there are 7 activities. First of all, no other or very few. Number 2, the next part of the sentence after other, then verb. Number 4, so or as. Number 5, positive or comparative. Number 6, as, definitely. And number 7, subject. My dear student, now I would like to give an example from comparative to positive. And look at the board. Karim is taller than any other. Karim is taller than any other boy in the class. This is comparative form. And if it is indicated into positive, then 7 activities will be used. First of all, number 1, no other or very few. My dear student, look at the sentence I have mentioned in the very beginning of the class. The comparative sentence are 2 kinds, than any other, and another is than most other. If the comparative sentence is with than any other, no other will be used. No other will be used first. This is number 1 activity. And number 2 activity, the next part of the sentence after other will be used. Here, look at the board, other. So, what are next part? Boy in the class. Boy in the class. This is the next part after other. This is number 2 activity. And number 3 activity, verb will be used. My dear student, look at the board. Here verb is used. So, verb is used in here. This is number 3 activity. And number 4, so or as you like. You may use so, you may use as. Both are correct. As or so. This is number 4. Number 5, positive form of the comparative word. Here comparative word is taller. So the positive form of taller is tall. This is number 5 activity. Number 6, as. Definitely as. In this case, you should not use so. Definitely as will be used. This is number 6 activity. And number 7, subject of the sentence. What is the subject of the sentence? Karim. Karim. This is number 7. So, what is the answer of Karim is taller than any other boy in the class? The answer is no other boy in the class is as or so tall as Karim. Have you got the idea, my dear student? And another thing, if the comparative sentence is with than most other, in lieu of than any other. If most is used in lieu of than in comparative form, the superlative form will be what? For this case, all things are okay, but here number 1, no other will not be used. For this case, if the sentence is Karim is taller than most other here boys in the class, for this case, first of all, number 1 activity, very few will be used. Very few. Very few. And all things are okay. And in this case, boys. And you should remember in mind only one thing. If the positive form will be start with very few, verb will be plural form. This is one thing and it should be remembered. My dear student, please listen to me. If the comparative form is with than most other, for this case very few will be used and this is the number 1 activity, and for this case verb will be changed into plural number. In the comparative form, verb is singular maybe, but in positive form, when very few will be used, the verb will be plural. So in lieu of is, here are will be used. So the answer is very few boys in the class are so or as tall as Korean. My dear student, I hope you will be able to understand my class, and if you have any kind of question, if you have any kind of inability to understand any point or anything, please write your question in the comment box and I will try my level best. But I am very sorry, I have found no student who are writing any kind of comment in the comment box. Sir, please describe it, or sir, please try to understand me about this matter. I have found no student from today. Very nice, excellent, go ahead, nice presentation, these are common languages. You should write only, identify your problem, your misunderstanding, and where I have left. If you write it in the comment box, then I will be aware, then I will give your answer, and this is my advice. My dear student, no more today. I hope you all are well and you all will be well in future, and pray for the nation, for the people of our country. Thank you all.